But when we come into our yoga practice, it's really attending to self, this capacity to learn how to regulate our nervous system in particular is such a gift. And I've been reviewing some of the polyvagal theory work that I studied last year and marveling at how profound the ancient yogis, they didn't know anything about the nervous system in the sense of like polyvagal theory and the vagus nerve and, the way the body responds with hormones, with fight or flight, and all these things, right? But there was an intuitive knowing that these practices are nurturing to the self and get us regulated to a place where we're steady. Um, and it's just so important to learn how to get steady. There's so much that takes us off our center. And I know I said it many times before, but the greatest gift we can give ourselves and those in our life is to be the calm one in the boat. If we can manage to be resilient and stable in our mind and in our actions and in our words, it's a tremendous gift. That presence is a absolute tremendous gift that we can give others. But it requires tending. It requires a lot of self care and you taking your time for you to kind of observe and acknowledge how you are, and then figure out the subtleties of how to support yourself. So we'll do a little bit of every yoga practice is geared toward this. Truly, when anytime we step on our mat, we're regulating our nervous system. But we'll maybe do a little bit extra focus of some breath work at the end that will help us in this regard. Okay. So when you step onto your mat, when we start here, try to let whatever's kind of weighing on you, just see if you can set some of the weight down. You can always pick it back up again. But if you can, let your practice be about just holding space for yourself. There's nobody else you need to care for in this moment right now. This is your hour for just you. Okay, so let's start by sitting up straight and tall and squirm around a little bit and just be like, oh yeah, here's my body, this is what I got today. Right, so just take a moment to move if you need to just really settle into here now, body now. And then when you're ready to be still, close your eyes and just kind of move down through the koshas, the layers of our being. So let's just start with the physical body. Let's just sense, how are you in this moment? How are you feeling? Are you tired? Are you lively? Are you tense? Are you loose? Are you hurting somewhere? Are you disembodied? Are you feeling really good? What's the physical aspect of you right now? Maybe close your eyes so that interoception kind of gathers some capacity. When we close our eyes, sometimes taking away those senses can draw us into the internal sensations a little bit better. What is the first thing that you're noticing right in this moment? And take a moment to feel the freedom of your body grow. So place yourself well. Maybe your shoulder blades need to have a little bit of mobility and open up and draw down the back. Maybe you need to open up the disc spaces a little bit more. Maybe you need to feel a little deeper grounding. Maybe there's a part of your body that you're finding tension that you need to very consciously create some softness and space in. Maybe there's a kindness that needs to be offered to self in your physical body. And then moving into the prana body, this breath body, see what it feels like to sense your energy, to sense your breathing. And to notice how when you breathe deeply, so, take a moment to breathe both in and out very well. And when you do, can you notice what's opening, what's expanding, what's kind of being nurtured by the breath? And can you move your awareness beyond just the lungs? Can you feel that sense of enlivening of your pranic body by the breath? You welcome in. What can you let go? And we're kind of seeking out what's happening in the mind. Where has the quality, what has been the quality of your thoughts? Is there any thoughts that are weighing on you? Do you have some things on repeat? What's showing up in your dream life? Is there some uh, kind of rearranging that you need to do? It always reminds me of the book Peter Pan when their mother in the night would go in and rearrange the drawers of their mind, the drawers of their brain, get things back in order. So, do you need some reordering in your thinking? How about what's kind of below the thinking mind, that deeper state of consciousness? Start to touch into, that um, truest, deepest part of self, the connection of that part that just really cannot be harmed, the deep nurturing of the soul life. Let's open up our awareness. Notice if not something is kind of shadowing over or covering this sense of connection that we have to the world. Are you feeling isolated? Are you feeling separated? See if you can let all these layers of your being, your mind, your heart, your emotions, your energy, physicality, your breath, all of it kind of move toward the goal of opening yourself up to connection. As you expand the heart a little brighter, bring the palms toward your heart. Let your thumbs be close to the chest wall, but not touching, so that you have to energetically have a little bit of a reach toward your hands, upward toward the sky. Notice the back body expand as well. And can you imprint the open heart, even if it feels not super real? Can you imprint it anyway? And in this open place, offer an intention. What do you need to cultivate for you, for your well being? Release your hands and let's find our way to our mat. So, as you stretch out and begin to feel the physical practice of yoga, as you come onto your back, let's just enjoy for a moment this sense of space that you have. Reaching your arms overhead and just take a stretch. Maybe your breath wants to change in some way. Maybe your body wants to squeeze or maybe it wants to melt. So just kind of follow the instincts of your body. We're going to do in just a moment a little bit of a progressive pendiculation, which is a really nice reset for the nervous system. But first, just bring your knees into your chest and rock a little bit. And let your whole body slosh from side to side. So, kind of like be the water in the bucket. And know that rocking is a very soothing thing for your parasympathetic nervous system. So if we're trying to kind of step out of the fight or flight, and into the ease and calm, rocking is a great way to do that. So, don't hesitate to get in a hammock or in a rocking chair or a glider chair or on a porch swing or to just rock in a chair or on the floor or in your bed. Babies don't have a corner on the market. We all need a little bit of it. All right, and then let's circle the knees, rolling a few times, just sense into the back body. How are things back there today? How's your sacrum, your low back, your hips, your spine? Third direction, just feel into your hip joints now. So you can open your knees away from the midline and bring them back in. You can do zigzaggy things. You can just find whatever is going to help you kind of feel into the rim of the hip joint. See if you can feel the full circle of that joint instead of just kind of right at the hip creases. Sense into the entire joint if you can, where your femur bones connect into your pelvis. And right knee into your chest. Give a good squeeze of that knee. Move your ankles around and say hello to your feet. Again, maybe eyes are closed so you have a deeper awareness of the physical sensations of the body. The body happens in the here and now. The more we touch into physical sensations, the more we give that cue to the nervous system that I am present, I am accounted for, I'm here. Let's change sides, left knee and right leg long on the ground. Maybe some wiggles of the toes again, maybe some peeking of the bottom of your feet looking in all directions. Good squeeze of that knee. And then relax, arms and legs out to the side. So let's starfish open just for a big full body stretch for a moment. Feel everywhere, wiggle your fingers and your toes. And then draw your knees in, pick up your head, a snug little hug. All right, and then let's relax onto the ground. Put your body in a comfortable place. And we're going to start with the lower body and kind of progressively move our way up. So first, point your toes strongly and feel the muscles on the bottom of your feet engage. And see if you can let that travel down the back line of your body. Your calves engage, your hamstrings, press your legs down, engage your glutes. See if you can even engage the back body. Press your arms into the ground, press your head into the ground. And then release and let that go. So let your whole body fall toward the ground. Then we're going to do the same thing, the back line of the body, but we'll start at the top. Press the back of the head in the ground. Press the backs of the arms into the ground. Feel your spine. Feel the muscles in your back engage. Squeeze your glutes. Press your legs down. Engage your hamstrings. Engage your calves. Point your toes. And then relax and let everything soften. And now let's travel up the front of the body. So we'll start at the feet. Flex your feet, toes pointing toward your face. Feel the tops of your feet, the shins engage. Engage your quads now. Engage your core. Engage your chest and engage. You can even bring your hands and cross them or press your palms together and maybe pick up your head. And then release and relax your arms and your head and your legs. Okay, and now we'll start at the top and work toward the bottom. So we're going to do it a little differently on this. We're going to curl it to a ball. So pick up your feet first. Put your feet on the ground. Okay, and then we're going to pick up the head and bring the hands like fists right to the chest and squeeze the front of the body. Squeeze your face. Engage your core a little bit and then pick up your knees and hug them in. Hip flexors engage. Keep all that in the front body. Straighten your legs. Keep your upper body up. Engage your quads. Flex your toes. And then relax and let everything melt on the ground. So of course that's not every muscle group we have in the body, but it's a lot of them. So now we're going to just do a full starfish on the ground. Appendiculation of just squeeze everything you can. Hold your breath for a moment. Big breath in. Squeeze your face. Squeeze your fists. Squeeze your legs. Everything you can find. And then relax. And then draw your knees into your chest. A little bit of rocking. Just ease up your back. And then take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, pick up your head. Snug little ball. All your breath out. Hold your out breath. Squeeze your face. Maybe stick out your tongue. If you'd like, whatever feels good. Squeeze and then relax and let your breath come in. Put your feet on the ground, arms straight out to the sides like a T, and windshield wiper your knees left and right. And notice we haven't done much yet at all, but just notice if your awareness of self, if your sense of presence, if the squeeze and release has given you any gift of surrender in the body. So just notice as you move your hips here a little bit, what's changing. All right, and then let's roll all the way to your side and come up to your hands and your knees. And find your way onto all fours. So as we start to find some cat cows, what a gift to move your spine. Let's try not to take it for granted. Okay, so as we arch the back and around the spine, just take one vertebrae at a time and feel your way into this mobility in the body. Doesn't it feel good to just have that full range of motion? Breathing deeply. And then turn the body into any range that you want. You can wag your tail. You can circle through your hips. You can move around in your shoulders, move around in your head. Try to think less and just be in the fluidity of your breathing and of your spinal movements. And then stretch back towards child's pose. Take your arms out in front of you and feel the long line through your shoulders. Take your knees as close or as far as you want them to be. Full breath here. And then walk the hands over to one side and feel that dropping of your sit bones down. Soften your skull. Breathe well. And then come back to center and feel that dropping weight. Feel the weight of your hips. Feel the openness through the ribs. A full breath. And then come back to center. Come up onto all fours and feel that movement again. Curl the toes under. So when you stretch back towards child's pose, we're having a big opening in the bottom of your feet. Maybe touch your ankle bones if that feels good for your toes. And then come back up onto all fours. Maybe a little smack in your feet. All right, let's reach the left arm all the way up in the sky. Open the breath. Exhale, drop that shoulder down and twist. Then you can reach the other arm up in the air if you'd like. You can stretch it overhead. You can press your hand into the ground. Open up your breathing. And then inhale, reach that arm all the way back up to the sky. Hand comes down onto the ground. Let's switch sides. Arm up. Drop that shoulder underneath. Enjoy the twist. Gazing toward the ground. Let your head relax. See if you can touch it with the breath over and over again. Notice the sensations of your body. Notice the way you're breathing. Inhale, bring that arm back up in the air. Hand comes down onto the ground, and let's find our way to a dog pose. So as you reach upward, enjoy. There's so much goodness here. Let's just take a moment to feel the immersion, to feel the groundedness of our points of contact, to open up the hands and the feet. So much sensation available in the hands and the feet. So let what your feedback you're getting from the ground help you cultivate that interoception in the body. Full breaths here. And then walk your feet forward. Come to Uttanasana. Feel free to shimmy your hips, wag your tail, your shoulders, anything that helps you feel good. Inhale for a halfway lift and grow a little longer in your spine. Feel the bottom of your feet again. Lift your sit bones high. Stretch your heart forward. Revel in the sensation. When you find something good, when you're like, ooh, that feels nice, just stay present as best as you can with the happy factor in your body. And then drop into a deep forward fold. Release your head. Push off your feet, rising all the way up, arms to the sky. Open up through the heart. Let's cactus your wings here. Spread your arms, reaching them up again. This time, hands out to the sides. Press your palms wide. Spread your fingers as far as they will go. Some backward circles with the shoulders. So you just feel that sense of awareness and openness start to get a little bigger in your circling. I'm going to turn this into a little bit of breath work, and I want you to be very mindful where we go here. If you tend to get dizzy, you're going to modify this and just kind of be where your body needs to be. We're going to reach your arms straight up to the sky, and then exhale down. Inhale up. Bend your knees as much as you need. And if you this doesn't feel good to go up and down so much, then you take a little bit of a different variation that works for your body. The key here is to find your breath. All right, let's end up at the top, opening up, and bring your hands down at your sides. Find yourself for a moment, ground into your feet. And now we're just gonna go up and down onto our toes and back onto our heels. So you can bring your arms forward if you want. When you come onto the toes for a little extra balance, or maybe the arms out, however you want to be, but just open up those feet. So we're coming up onto the toes and back onto the heels. Full breaths. Just kind of pumping your calves a little bit here, waking up the feet. Big open breath, arms up, ground your feet now. Cactus, open the arms, and then exhale, round in, forearms to touch. Pick up your head, keep your palms right where they are. Open your eyes and focus your gaze on something that doesn't move. Soften your face. Let your palms touch each other and feel the grounding in that hand mudra. Feel your way into your feet. Feel your way into your diaphragm. Letting that full breath move through you. Relax your hands. And just like we did that, breath work going down, now we're gonna go from side to side and turn. We're gonna turn this into some standing poses. So turn sideways on your mat so you have a broad base of mat to begin this with. Okay, starting with your feet, hip width or a little bit wider, and we'll just twist. The back heel lifts up off the ground. Go as slow or as speedy as your breath and your body want you to be. Okay, so feel that twisting. Let your arms move to the sides. And then we're going to get a little wider in our legs and start to reach upward. And, this is what I'm doing with my arms, but, try to let this be what it wants to be in your body. The key here is that we're wide and we're squatting. So we're getting that energy of grounding into our legs and coming back up. How's your breath? And then stay low here, kind of at the mid-range with your torso. I always think of this as like just a deep swath of trying to touch a wide space with my hands. And then we'll kind of sweep the floor nice and low, staying in your squat, letting your torso be like an elephant trunk. All right, and then to come into some stillness, a deep, low squat, elbows inside your knees. Drop your hips, find your breathing, move your shoulders away from the ears, round through the four corners of your feet. So opening up the deep groundedness of your legs. come up to stand, a wide-legged stance. The arms are coming out wide. Standing star. Feel your breath. Okay, bring your hands down. Let's turn our feet to the side and come into Parsva Konasana. As you open up through this side angle in the body, one of the things that really helps our nervous system is to feel grounded. So root into your legs, get that sense of deep ground, like you're sinking deeper into the floor. And then from that groundedness, you can open up. And let's go to the other side. So, remember all your alignment things. You can put your hand on your knee and do the pose this high. You can put your elbow on your knee. You can put your hand on a block. Remember that we want our pelvis to open, but not to a place where we're stressing our SI joints. So it's much, you want to ground through the front foot and track the knee over the ankle and in line with the middle toes so that we're not caving in. Okay. Let the other leg organize around that. So root into your back foot. Reach your arm overhead. Feel the shoulders melt. The base of your skull is relaxed. Can you have the palm, your left palm, soften? Can your gaze soften? Can your breath deepen? Can you feel deep, deep roots in your legs? Press them down. Feel the engagement of all your muscles in your legs. Give them that strength that the pendiculations felt in the beginning. And then come all the way back up, a standing star for a moment. Get your body big and wide. And then turn your feet straight and bring your hands down. So enjoy an inversion for a moment before we do another standing pose. Melt your skull and start to feel the benefit of going upside down. What happens to you? And you can support your head with a block if you'd like, or you can have it be hanging. Find the full breath. Diaphragm, rib cage getting wide and big. All right, bring your hands onto some blocks. So they're out in front of you and your thighs are nice and wide. Turn your toes out a little bit. Come down into a squat and climb up to an upright posture. So as you find your goddess pose, find the deep roots of your legs, and we're just going to pulse here for a moment. So one of the things that's very grounding for our nervous system is to let our legs do the work that they're meant to do. So the more we access these big muscle groups and feel grounded, this is a very therapeutic thing for the nervous system. So as you pulse, just feel the work of your glutes, your hip muscles, your quads, your hamstrings, your calves, even your feet. Let everything kind of find some warmth, some energy. All right, standing star again, reaching your arms out wide. Let's turn your right foot out and find your way into Virabhadrasana 2. Arms out to the side. Feel the deep roots and ground in your feet. Again, the more we can, and you can even kind of press on your hips and press on your legs if you'd like to. The more we can feel the energy moving into our legs, the more grounded we become. This is a very good thing for being the calm one in the boat. We want to learn how to ground ourselves when times get stressful. So root into your feet, feel the earth. And then straighten up that leg. And let's turn your foot the other way. Finding your breath. A deep inhale as we come down into Virabhadrasana on this side. Again, the grounding, the deep grounding in the legs. Soften the shoulders. Can you give yourself both the gift of ease and strength, simultaneously the deep grounding and stability, but also the where is soft, where can relax, where's the breath? Activate every muscle you can find, just like when we did those pendiculations. See if you can find all those same muscles here. Straighten the legs again. One more time, wide-legged stance, bringing the hands down, bringing the head down. Maybe the head reaches the floor. Maybe you put your head on the block. And maybe you like to let your head hang. But whatever you're doing, let the body melt into the inversion so you feel the effect of the shifting of blood flow toward your brain. Lift your quads, press into your feet. Bring your hands either on the ground, right under your shoulders, or on blocks, your choice. Now we're going to take the left hand right in the center below our chest and reach the right arm up in the air. Left hand down, right arm up, shoulder blades down the back. Lift your left hip up and back. And then come back to center, switching sides. Lifting that arm up, let your right femur bone lift up and back, twist as best as you can on the breath. And then back. And let's turn to the front of your mat for a dog pose. So feel that reaching of length. And as you come back to a more neutral place with your legs than the wideness we've been discovering, let's take a moment to pedal your feet. Lift one hip, drop the other knee. Feel the bottom of your feet. Feel the bottom of your hands. Come forward into a plank. Shoulders over your wrists. Another great pose for feeling the integrity of full body strength. So hug in toward the middle. Breathe outward to the edges. Come down. You can put your knees down first if you need that support. And let's roll the shoulders a few times. Inhale for a cobra pose. The open heart. Exhale, melting back down. One more time. Coming up to a cobra. Releasing back down. Third time, arms are wide, hands on the ground, lengthen. And notice the difference here when we're not going so high up in a cobra. Reach all the way into your feet, reach all the way into your hands, lengthen the whole front of your spine. And then relax. Come up onto all fours and move the spine however you want to move your spine. Before you come back to child's pose, do some wiggles, do a little cat-cow, do some circling, whatever feels good. And then we're going to really focus on compressing the legs here. So as you drop back towards child's pose, before you bring your head down, first just feel your hips drop deep below and center your weight down, so that you have a lot of compression into your hip joints and knee joints and your legs. And then maybe take your arms down at your sides instead of overhead. If your head can touch something, that's great. Bring yourself into this repose. All right, if you're comfortable, sit back in Virasana for a moment. You can sit on a block or two blocks if you need some extra height for your knees. So hopefully this is comfortable. If it's not, maybe stand to do this. See what feels good. I want you to just press on your legs, round your legs. A lot of times when we enter into that stress state, fight or flight state, if you are one to disembody, and disembodiment can show up in lots of ways. It can be distraction, where you just get on your phone and scroll, or you turn on the TV and watch, or you just ignore, the things. You don't turn on the news, you don't pay attention. So it can be subtle disassociation like that, or it can be profound disassociation, like truly not knowing where your body is in space or recognizing your environment. So let's just take a moment to really feel the compression pressing on your thighs, feeling that deep roundedness in your legs. I'm kind of traveling, starting at my hips and moving down toward my knees. And then if you're comfortable, you can stand. If you're not, we're about to stand up again. But if you're comfortable to just be in Virasana for a moment, let's be here. Discover your breath. Try not to live up in the shoulders in your breathing. Get your diaphragm to open so that you sense the bottom ribs expanding. Now come out of here, come back onto all fours, move the block out of the way, curl your toes under, and find dog pose. Let's start this with our feet hip width apart so you can feel the deep reach of your femur bones up and back, the deep grounding of your hands and your feet, the extension of your spine. And now to give ourselves a little more room for breathing, take your feet as wide as you want on the mat. You can even turn your toes in a little bit if you'd like. And focus on the feeling of the inversion. Focus on the feeling of a wide open breath. Ground your hands and your feet. Feel how much contact you have with the ground. Feel how low your head is to the ground. And then walk your feet forward. Uttanasana again. Back body lengthening. Drop your head. Inhale for a halfway lift. Let your exhale come fully out. Let's step our left foot back, come to a lunge on this side. Place your back knee on the ground. Uncurl your toes or stay curled, whatever feels better for that back foot. Inhale, reach on up, bring just your left arm up in the air, right hand on your knee. Try not to sink and collapse, but rise up, feel the groundedness and rise up. I like using a block for this. I'm going to bring my right hand onto a block, stretch open through the left side. Finding that hip flexor stretch. Remember that your psoas and your hip flexors are very much part of that fight or flight response. So let's open them up. And then cross your forearm to your knee. Other hand, right hand on your thigh to help you lift your spine into a twist. Open up through that back thigh. Full breath. Where can you take your breath? Stay deeply grounded with that front foot. And bring your hands back onto blocks. Lift your back knee up off the ground and straighten your front leg. Bow your head. And let's bend and straighten so we feel both the hamstrings open and the hip flexors. Ground yourself. Now let's bring the back foot forward a little bit more. So we're going to live in Parsva Konasana for a moment. Remember your Right foot can come further out to the right if you need it. Feel into the backside of your pelvis. Can you sweep across that in balance? Are your hips square? Let the inner thighs roll back and stretch your heart forward. Feeling the breath ground through the front big toe. Imagine someone's hand is pressing on the top of your foot, rooting it down. Reach that hip back as you root the foot down. Let's take a moment to bow the head into an inversion. And then push off your feet all the way up, reaching the arms to the sky. Back foot comes forward. Bring your hands to your heart. And pause here for a moment. You can take your feet hip width apart, round in your Tadasana. Slow down your body movements, slow down your breath. Unlock your knees, feel the soles of your feet. Breathe to the legs, just breathe to the legs. Step your right foot all the way back, a deep lunge. And let's place the knee down on the ground. Always you can pad under your knee if you need it. Uncurl your toes or leave them curled, whatever feels nice. Feel the hip flexors of that back leg open up here. Rooting into the feet. Climbing up, maybe hands on your knee, and reach the right arm up in the air. Maybe a little bit of a tip over to the left as you extend and lengthen. Stay organized in your legs. Press your front foot down. Keep that left hip dropping toward the floor. Hug to the midline. And then let's find the twist. So forearm on your knee, turning to the left. Left hand on your thigh to be that kickstand to open up your heart. Feel the hugging toward the midline, ground your legs. Come back to the center. Hands on blocks, lift your back knee up off the ground and straighten that front leg. You can always pull your toes up off the ground if you'd like. And ground your 2 feet and adjust your legs. So we're really truly in a Parsvottanasana. That means straight legs, hips are square. You can take your left foot out to the left more if you need a little more wider stance. Root down through your entire left foot. And you can even put your hand on your foot to help ground it for a moment. And reach your left hip back as you stay rooted in that left whole foot. Extend the spine forward once you have that sense of balance across your pelvis. So we're moving the hip back, so we're squaring the hips. Once you have that, root both feet and extend the spine. Maybe your head wants to bow and feel that inversion again. Hands come down onto the ground, back to a dog pose. Enjoy the symmetry, the groundedness, the breath. Enjoy the inversion. Let's come forward into a plank. And find your way down onto your knees. Grab one blanket. And we're going to open up this blanket into a roll. So we're going to do a back bend over, a simple rolled blanket. And we're just going to do this in one position. We're not going to do the 3 positions we typically do. So as you come down, you can, find a sweet spot under your shoulder blades for that blanket. And then remember, if you don't like your head hanging, you can put a block underneath your head if you'd like. You can bend your knees, you can straighten your legs, you can Supta Baddha Konasana your legs, whatever you want. Let yourself feel grounded, and then when you're ready, Stretch your arms overhead and start experimenting. You can have your arms reaching overhead with palms facing each other. You can cactus your arms. You can have your arms out like a T. You can, kind of do any variation. So just kind of play with where your shoulders want to land, what feels comfortable for both your arms and your legs. And then once you have a good spot, melt here. Feel yourself open into the breath. Much of the time when we feel overloaded, weighted, we tend to collapse our chest. So, just pay attention. How does it feel to have an open heart? Are you in the right spot? Do you need to slightly adjust anything? You can stay here a lot longer if you're like, oh, this is just the best part of my day, then don't end it. Right? But when you are ready to come off of your blanket, we'll just move the blanket and come onto your back and bring your knees toward your chest and go back to your slosh bucket of just rocking left and right. Your back relax. Finding breath. If you're still in the back bend, great. You can join us at any time you're ready. And let's put our feet on the ground, arms out to the side, lift up your hips, scoot them right, knees come up, drop them left, and twist open. Remember the breath. Remember the whole practice is about being in your body. So I'm hoping that you're feeling that deep sense of interoception, awareness of the inner body in all the ways. Maybe you're paying attention to the way fascia feels, or joints, or muscles. Maybe you're paying attention to the way your ribs move with your breath. Maybe you're paying attention to, how your digestion is feeling. Maybe there's pain that your body's that your mind is paying attention to. So just notice any and all physical sensations that arise. Maybe you're aware of your temperature. Maybe you're aware of the way your skin feels on the ground, or the proprioception of knowing where you are in space. There's so much to pay attention to. Come back to neutral, and we'll shift our hips to the left and drop them, knees to the right, so that you can twist open the other way. Another aspect of paying attention is comparing. Like, does this side feel the same as the sensation you felt twisting the other way, or is it different? And again, we're not judging, we're not having expectations, we're just in observation. Your head rest a bit more. Can your breath deepen a bit more? Back to neutral. Pelvis on the ground, feet on the ground. Just take a breath here. When you're ready, either hold your knees or come into a happy baby, or a rocking plow, or rocking from side to side. Kind of, figure out what are the last little bits of your practice. Maybe a bit of a hip stretch is what you want. So just take a few rounds of breath to just kind of explore just a little bit of whatever the last, if you haven't touched a place yet, Touch it now. Now you can certainly do where we're going next, lying down, but if you're comfortable, before Shavasana, we'll come back down for Shavasana. But if you're comfortable to sit for a moment, and you can sit in Virasana, you can sit on a blanket, cross-legged, you can sit in a chair, and like I said, you can stay lying down. So whatever you're choosing, we're gonna find a way to just be for, about 2 minutes or so, so not a long time. So whatever choice you're making, let's take a moment to experience just this new posture, what your body feels like here. Find your way into the breath. We're going to do one of the most simplest pranayama techniques. All it is we're going to start with an equal part breath, and then we're going to switch to a longer exhale. So you find your own internal metronome of counting, find your pace, your rhythm, and whatever your nice steady inhale, whatever that count is that you get to, equalize it with your exhale. So we're going to start with equal parts breath, where the inhale matches in length to the exhale. So maybe just a couple, 3, 4 rounds like that, whenever it feels good. Everybody's breath pace is different, which is why I'm not counting it out for you. I want this to be an open, free, full breath, but not a stressful breath. So you don't have to push your boundaries. Sometimes just simply being aware of our breathing is enough. Slow, steady, even exchange of the inhale and the exhale. And now we'll begin to lengthen the breath. So we're going to have just a simple steadiness of the inhale, and try to let the exhale, you can still count, and at least 2 beats longer. See what your comfort level is. You might go 3 beats longer, 4 beats longer. You might double the length of the exhale to the inhale. But again, whatever number or however far you're going with that long exhale, we don't want to have stress. So if you feel like you get short of breath or you need to gulp for the next inhale, then you're doing too much. So let this practice be very easeful. We're trying to create steadiness in the nervous system, not stress. So a nice steady inhale, and however much longer the exhale can be, to a place where you're still comfortable. Of course, breathing through the nose, feeling that good posture. If you feel like you have to take an extra gulp of that inhale before your exhale, you're doing too much. As you're doing this, relax your face. Keep a sense of steadiness in your torso, open heart. Finish after this long exhale. Whenever you get to that place. And let's find Shavasana. So maybe you're already lying down and kind of in that Shavasana place. And maybe you are sitting up and you need to lie down. Remember to stay warm. Days are getting a little teeny bit chillier. So if your house is a little cooler than it normally is, take notice so that you can stay warm in your body. And drop into the ease of this pose. Let your whole body settle and sink toward the ground. Limbs are heavy. Head is heavy. Enjoy your breathing. Enjoy your grounding. Begin to deepen your breathing. Let's begin to stretch and move in any way that serves. When you transition. You find your way to your side and up to a comfortable seat. Take your time. Remember, move slowly. Let the transition of your practice be like gathering the harvest of your practice to carry with you in this sense of new awareness of self, hopefully a deep sense of grounding. And remember, the simplest things like the breath work we did at the very end is always available to you, no matter where you are and what you're doing. Let's offer our groundedness, our sense of calm and steadiness. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.